Hello, everyone, and welcome to the OCO draft analysis for the Dusk Division. We're going to be able to jump right into this here in just a second, but before we do, I'm your host for the evening, Split Second Plays, and join with me is Dev. Right now, Moon is slightly busy, but rest assured she will be back. She has got some other things going on, and we told her it's fine. We get it. This is all for fun, anyways, so go do what you have to. But Dev,
Yeah,
how are you
yeah.
this evening?
I'm doing pretty good. I can't really complain. I'm glad the draft season is finally over and we can finally start getting into the games and just get all of the kind of craziness that is the draft kind of behind us.
Yes, and speaking of which, going right into it, the moderators are finally free because this is a real time event going on, as you will see. This is moderators before draft. And Dev, if you want to go to the next one, this is moderators after draft. We have been working around the clock like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you guys at all. I'm kind of glad I'm not a moderator, especially because of just like it went from super slow to super fast, kind of slow to now there's 10 picks in the last 5 minutes. So kind of glad
Yeah,
that I'm not having to deal with that.
I might have been slowly being pushing around. It's like, okay, on to the next one, just a little tad bit.
Well,
But
at
yeah,
that, we can get to what's not on your bingo card split.
alrighty. Well, give me just a second and we'll roll and see what I got in here for us today. Alrighty. And then I will just go on ahead and type that into the Discord, and I think you should be able to have it right ready for you.
Yep. Here is everything that wasn't on any of our bingo cards.
Yeah, I think for me the most surprising thing out of all this, well, two things really. One, the second best premier tailwind sitter in Talonflame did not get picked, as well as the Land Before Time itself, or in this case, the Land Before Megas, regular Meganium got drafted, but Mega Meganium did not. Though that
Yeah,
might have
those
been
were two very
slightly a
surprising
discrepancy
things.
there, I think.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
not,
to kind of go first, that Talonflame not being drafted, that really surprised me because I think Talonflame, I think you were the one who picked Talonflame, I think, for your second pick. Is that right? In Dawn?
yes. You gave me
Yeah.
Tailwind, and if someone tries to hit me with Prowl, I just click Quick Guard is my thought process behind that. I
Mm.
know that might seem weird to some, but that's just my way to get around fake outs.
Yeah, but I mean, the Talonflame has a lot of that like great utility, like the quick guard, but also having that priority tailwind at the start of the game, and you keep it healthy to towards the end of the game. Plus, being able to hit like the priority dual wing beat, the priority brave bird, if you're really feeling it. It's really surprising to me that Talonflame was one of the Pokemon not to get drafted. That just seems like a Pokemon that like somebody would have grabbed even in the later rounds if it was still there, just because of that like priority tailwind that it can set.
Oh, yes. And I also think something to also see there a little bit on the AZ Floette. Kind of slightly surprised. I know Lorsey looked at it, but I think he didn't realize potentially how much points he already had. So that might have been part of the reason. So I'm sure it will get picked up in free agency quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Kind of the other thing, too, is I think I'm in the wrong draft because no one took the Gengar with Perish Trap. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, then.
I mean, we gave Frostlash so much crap in Dawn Division for not being drafted. You even made the Frozen cover for it. When are we going to get one
Lot
for
from Mount
Gengar?
Cornet.
Yeah, Gengar saying like that's even more surprising than Talonflame because Gengar I think went, I don't know if it went in the first round for Dawn. I want to say it did, but for a 20-point Pokemon of that caliber, Frostlass, sure, you can make some arguments that it might be like maybe kind of a one-trick pony, always needing to click Blizzard and only kind of setting up Aurora Veil sometimes, maybe. But Gengar, you can't really make that argument for. It's got Perish Trap, it's got just great attack and great speed. It pairs so well with so many different teams. It like doesn't need to be the main damage dealer for it doesn't have to be. It's so surprising that it wasn't drafted.
Yeah, and also not to mention, you kind of mentioned its move pool and its sets you even if you're not sure, there's always the disable
Hmm.
find your encore mon to make people feel bad and struggle to death because they can't get out because of
Yeah.
shadow tag.
Shadow Tag alone just makes it so much more worth it, in my opinion, than Frostlass, because at least Frostlass you can switch out against and you can kind of play around the snow. But with Gengar, you're just like, oh, you're in bad position now. Oh, you just lost one, maybe even two of your Pokemon. It's so good. I don't understand.
Yeah, that one's definitely surprising, and to a slightly less not surprising thing because of item limitation right now, but I think we have to address it because of just how rampant it was in season 1 and season 2. Uh, is Rhyperior fraudulent now without weakness policy?
Yeah, Rhyperior was insane in the first two seasons. I think Squid Blue had it in his winning team season one. I think they drafted it season two as well. If you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it also, like, I remember facing Rhyperior, whoever had it last season, and it just kind of rolled through my entire team. It's not a fun Pokemon to play against, especially because you need that, like, really good special attacker, and if it gets Trick Room up, you're kind of just, you're losing something. It's insanely strong with that weakness policy, especially in draft where you can have random coverage moves to pop it just whenever you want. If you don't even have to care about the other person, it's so annoying to deal with.
Not to mention the ability Solid Rock also being like,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, super effective, give me my weakness policy boost. And I mean, I could be wrong on this too, but I'm pretty sure Squid Blue also had both seasons. That's sitting next to Comfey, which I really wanted to draft in season 2, but didn't get it. And then it was just like priority. I'm going to do this now with or without Trick Room and Hurt.
Yep. Yeah, it was the most annoying thing to deal with. I remember back in Gen 8, I tried VGC for a little bit before I really got into it in Gen 9. I ran a weakness policy, not Gigantamax, Dynamax Rhyperior next to a Bulldoze Dusclops. That was really fun.
That thing probably didn't die at all then, for
Nope.
sure. Especially,
That thing, once
what?
it got
Gave it
set
like
up, it like,
220 base HP?
yeah, it was so good. But yeah, it's a little surprising just kind of how much it falls off without the weakness policy. I think Terra not being here also hurts it, because you could Terra out of that 4x water resist or 4x water weakness, 4x grass weakness to something like Dragon, or in draft again something that, like, your opponent doesn't have really the answers for. So I think that's probably another kind of knock on it. But yeah, I'm surprised one of the Trick Room teams didn't at least attempt to pick it up.
It's definitely a interesting one. I guess we'll see if anybody tries to figure out the new champion's way to use it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then my kind of last one for this was, who let Gambit and ZardY on the same team? Because they both went in round one in Dawn, so I didn't even have a chance to get ZardY. But how do you let that happen?
I don't know. It's going to be a rough whoever has to face that.
Yeah, that's gonna just demolish some teams on its own. I bet you there's gonna be at least one set where one of the games goes leads Charizard and King Gambit, and then that's the entire game is just them sitting on the field and killing everything else.
Yeah, Zard's going to hit moves. The other King Gambit's going to Swords Dance, and then it's like game over.
Yep. Yeah, so I think that's all I had. Well, I guess nothing that I had on my bingo card. Don't know if you had anything else you wanted to throw in real quickly before we get to the team breakdowns.
Not off the top of my head. If we do, I'm sure we can cover it in future episodes to come. So
Yeah. All right, let's move in to our breakdowns. First up,
and
say that.
Oh, you got it. I was gonna just say the same thing. So.
First up, we've got Aldrich and the Light of Ruin.
Yeah, do you want to tackle the strengths of this starting
Sure.
off, or do you want me to?
No, I can do it. Yeah, so Aldrich had the first pick of the draft. His first pick was the tactical nuke Mega Floette. As we all expected with the name Light of Ruin. That pick didn't really surprise everybody, but it also happened to be one of the longest picks of the draft. I think it came in like 12 or 13 hours after the draft had actually officially started. So,
Yeah,
um,
my notes say it took about 8 to 10 business days. Hang on, that should be hours. I'm gonna get some poison jabs thrown my way, but oh well. You only live once, right?
yeah, I mean, it's a amazing team. He's got two sleep powder users. He's got 3 of the 20-point Pokemon being the Mega Floette, Garchomp, and Whimsicott, meaning that he just has half of every Mega Floette team ever. Um, all of his base stats are above 80 overall, which means that just solid completely all around. I know there are some teams that have like the HP's kind of lacking in that stat. I think on my team specifically, the HP's low. Some teams the speed, but if you have over 80 in every stat category, then that means that you have a pretty well-rounded team just altogether.
I also think, looking right at it, I see this 2 sleep powder, maybe 3. I don't know if Whimsicott gets it or not with Prankster,
I don't think it
but there's
does.
at
I think
least
that
2
would make
there.
it a little too overpowered.
Yeah, we might be in trouble if someone does that. It's already got Leech Seed. I don't want to think of giving this thing any more buffs.
Yep.
But I think kind of the main weaknesses here, uh, well, one of your big issues is yes, you have the Floette and it's going to hit hard, but it's probably going to be a run of standard set. And with playing as long as we have, people are probably going to have ways to work around that, especially with against its defense. I would think, and you kind of have a few. Looking at the team here, you have a few weaknesses to some of the more meta relevant types, such as fire, rock, and ground. I'm sure there's some other stuff on there. I see 3, 4 ice weaknesses, but I don't think you bring all of them. So
Yeah, and I think like Mega Floette also in general doesn't really get a ton of non-fairy type moves that are good. So it is kind of a tough thing to, I guess I shouldn't say it's a tough thing because it does just even resist, it just kind of KOs, but yeah, it is like it's very hard to have a lot of kind of diversity in that move pool when you kind of can only run 4 or 5, maybe 6 different moves that are like going to be kind of relevant.
I think it's moves off the top of my head that I can think of that are special that are not fairy top are Pollen Puff, Giga Drain, and I guess you can get the surprise factor for one time only with Whimsicott, Tailwind, Psychic if you see a poison type, but that's about it.
Yeah, and that's the psychic is doing some damage, but Giga Drain, I mean, Giga Drain's only 75 base power, and then Pollen Puff is a bug type move, and a lot of
And are you
things
really,
resist bug.
yeah, and are you really going to want to make your one mega tactical nuke more of a cleric or supportive option if you're not
Yeah.
clicking Pollen Puff on something?
I could be where Garchomp is super good and you want to do that, but yeah, I definitely agree with you where it's not something that you really are going to be seeing a ton of. That's not to say Mega Floette's bad. That's not what we're trying to say,
Oh,
just that it
definitely
is
not.
kind of streamlined in what it can do, just like looking at it at first.
Especially with only that being your only mega, which
hmm
I kind of think that's one of the main things if I were to give adjustments or critiques of how to improve it. Look into maybe getting a secondary mega as well as kind of looking at what you can drop for that. Probably
Yeah.
Altarian Earth Worm, just to help out your top chart a little bit there.
Yeah. Definitely. I having only one mega is definitely rough. I mean, it helps being arguably the best mega in the format. I mean, Zard Y is the best mega in terms of the meta, but in Draft League, I'm not really sure if you could say that because so many things learn a rock move. It kind of makes it a little bit more difficult to run Zard Y. I'm not sure who you could call the best Draft League mega, but Floette is definitely up in that conversation. So it helps with that being your only mega, but you also don't run a surprise factor of, oh, they're going to over prepare for my Mega Floette, so I'm going to bring Mega Frostlass. I'm going to bring, that's a terrible example because that's 2 20-point megas, but you're going to
I,
bring your secondary mega to um, counteract that.
I got you, Dev. It's not for us necessarily, but You bring, in my case, you bring Sludge Wave on your Greninja, or you bring out the Go Through Protect Iron Heading Mega Excadrill.
Yeah, you have just something to surprise kind of factor where it's like, oh, they're so prepared for Mega Floette that you reverse the tables on them, and oh, now they are so underprepared for your Mega Excadrill, your Mega Greninja. So yeah,
Even in my case, you could just bring both of your Megas, and if I want to, you think, oh, it's going to be Greninja for sure. No, I click Icy Wind with Greninja, and then Iron Head with Mega Excadrill.
yeah. And I mean, just overall, really good team. I like they're very nitpicky complaints. I know we spent a little bit of time on them, but like overall, this team is great. It's going to be one of the scariest to go up against. Like, even though you have that one mega, it is a nuke. It is going to blow something up. It will click Light of Ruin and just blow up one of your resists, especially if Whimsicott runs Helping Hand or something. I don't know if it gets that. I'm assuming it does because everything seems to get
I'm,
Helping Hand. But
I'm pretty sure. If you give me a second, I can get back with you on that.
stuff is
I should
dying
have
is kind of my
down
point.
pulled out here somewhere. Let's see here. Helping Hand. It does get Helping Hand.
Okay,
So
I figured.
you also do just have Fairy Aura boosted for both of them. Then you can click Moonblast on
Yeah.
Whimsicott as well.
And also having Garchomp to pair next to that Floette, just all the weaknesses that Floette has, just they're gone because Garchomp exists now. And everything that
Yeah.
Garchomp hates, okay, Floette, click Light of Ruin, click Moonblast, click Calm Mind of Dazzling Gleam. It's they pair so well together that like those first three Pokemon can win games on their own. So
Yeah.
it's going to be very, very scary to go up against.
And if you are worried about that, there's also the option if there's not a grass type choice scarf Vivian, and then just start clicking Calm Minds.
Yep. Yeah, it's very, very scary team to go up against. But I think we spent enough time on Aldrich. Next up, we've got the Memphis Manectrics, or I should emphasize the main Ectrix, coached by I
Yes.
Will.
Yes. One of our newcomers to the league, and also in charge of the St. Jude charity tournaments for at least 2 years, probably more. And that's just because that's a lack of knowledge, and that's only how long I've played in them. So, but yeah, we've kind of talked back and forth, but I think there's a lot of strengths here. You have some excellent support options with, and this one will make Dev happy because someone did grab the last one to complete the trio overall for draft to have the Unova monkeys. You've also got Sinistra for redirection, and you also have support in the Incineroar
Mm-hmm.
while also still hitting hard.
Yeah, I mean, great support options. You've got double fake out, intimidate, and the healing from Sinistra with the redirection on Sinistra as well. I mean, that's like a very, very good support core that you've got just in those three mons alone.
Not to mention also the sand team, and you have a lot that can work there. I don't think Sinistra really cares too much because it's going to be able to heal at Matcha Gotcha. Uh, though that does kind of give you a few options there, especially with looking at Plus Incineroar. This team will never be going to a Planet Fitness ever because it has fighting type problems for days right now.
Yeah, that is kind of a fairly big downside. Is the only real resistance is that Mega Altaria. Obviously, you have the complete immunity from Sinistra, but outside of those, you're not always going to have those on the field, so it could be a problem, especially if Sand is down and you've got Tyranitar and Excadrill both on the field. I get Tyranitar is a Mega, but I mean, sometimes you still lose the Weather War, even though you can set it twice. So that will be something to definitely look out for. Um, Another thing is it's kind of middling speed. If Sand isn't up, then Simipour is your fastest Pokemon. I know I've harped on the monkey speeds the kind of entire draft process, but they're also not the ones you want to be the fastest on your team. Because that means that you won't really kind of I mean, if it's fine if you have like some base 100s, but then the next closest is Excadrill at 88. So you're not
It's
going
bad.
to be able to outspeed those Charizards, the Mega Kangaskhan who did end up getting drafted. Um, But yeah, it's just not the fastest team in the world, but also not the slowest, so it can't really take advantage of Trick Room as much as it wants to. They do have the Hisuian Avalugg, they do have the Hisuian Gudra. Is that enough for Trick Room? I'm not sure.
Yeah. There's also, granted, you will be taking physical hits very easily and punishing it back with more minus intimidators.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, with a couple, I guess, special defense buffs, I never remember this, so I'm showing my lack of knowledge, but I know it's either steel or rock type or ground that gets the special defense buffed in sand as long as it's
That is
up.
rock that gets it.
Okay. So I guess two of them, because
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
so
Avalugg is rock and ice.
Tyranitar and Avalugg will get it. Avalugg, I'm not sure how much it really benefits from that because its base special defense is like 40 or something.
Yeah, paper
So
thin.
I mean, yes, it gets it, but like you're gonna need some boosts in that. Plus the yeah, it's not really gonna be living a special hit, which is kind of the bigger drawback of why you don't really see Hisuian Avalugg ever run.
Yeah, and I think kind of looking into some of it there, it's definitely not make or break, but for adjustments, they may want to consider dropping a few of the lighter mons to combine them for either if he wants to still have. I don't know if it's more the fairy or another dragon there, but I mean, he could consider dropping uh Hisuian Gudra, Altaria. That helps a little bit with your fairy type problems. I know it's still typing, but it's still going to hurt. As well as much as it pains me to say it, because I love the little guy, and I've always named him Zabumafu. Maybe consider Passimian as well on that. Uh, and honestly, I think you could do that if you still want a fairy type. You kind of make sure you have 8 because that's kind of the minimum you have to have. You kind of swap that out. You take Mega Dragonite potentially just for a Mega. I'm not saying it's your best option. I'm just spitballing with what I can think. And then if you want your fairy, you pick up the AZ Floetta floor so he doesn't take it first.
Yeah, but I mean, this team definitely does have its pros. I mean, that sand mode that we mentioned earlier, Tyranitar Excadrill, and then Hisuian Gudra also benefiting from the sand, not in the terms of like getting a boost or anything, but not being damaged by that, as well as being a relatively tanky mon in general, plus the Intimidate from Incineroar, and obviously the parting shot you can never get away from. It's got a lot more special defense than it does physical defense, so it will benefit a ton from Incineroar being able to drop the attacks, and then it will be able to iron defense up, use body press. I think it also gets like, or I guess it doesn't use iron defense. It uses like, it uses something like shelter. I think is what it's
Shelter?
called that boosts its defense.
Yeah. I think it may get it, but for style points and because that was kind of its signature move in Legends Arceus, I think they're the same, but I could be wrong.
Yeah,
But
I
I
think they
usually
do the
prefer
same
shelter.
thing, but I think it's like the imprison reason is that like you could maybe potentially run into a prison, um, like an imprison.
Iron
Um,
defense,
yeah, that's the word.
something.
Could not think of that, but yeah, I don't know.
Hmm.
It also is just style points too. So
Yeah.
yeah, I am like this is a good team. I am not like again all of our critiques throughout kind of this whole process are more just like nitpicking at stuff so we can fill the like weaknesses category.
As well as just suggestions, and some may be better than others.
Yeah. We're
So,
not well, obviously we're not like world champion players, so like the advice that we give or the weaknesses that we point out could just be as simple as like, oh, they don't know what they're talking about.
true.
All right.
But yeah, I
Coming
think
up next, we've got the St. Louis Pika Blues coached by Hannah.
yeah, I think. Well, I know we were talking about in the Dawn division. Dev, I think I found your hard trick room team.
Yes. This is Trick Room in and out. Very hard hitting. Got two of the best Trick Room megas because Mawile went in the first round. Got the next best options in Crabominable. I was about to say Crabrawler. That's not right. That's the pre-evolution. Crabominable and Camerupt. I actually, when MB first came out and I was messing around with Mega Scrafty, I used a Camerupt and Scrafty team as well as one of the first, I think it was the first Oko team build was around Mega Camerupt. So very cool to see Camerupt coming back, especially in this context. Multiple, I think, if I'm looking at that correctly, there are 4 Trick Room setters in Farigiraf, Oranguru, Hatterene, and Trevenant. Kangaskhan, Scrappy,
Mm,
Fake Out, Last Resort, Araquanid, Great Trick Room Pokemon. I mean, yeah, just through and through the hard Trick Room team.
maybe Klefki, but I don't really know for sure, especially
I want to
because it's
say
your
it
other
does,
prankster.
but I'm not counting it just because I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, if you're clicking prankster with Klefki, that might be rough.
Yeah. Hey, it's only -4
I'm not
priority
saying
instead
it
of
can't work,
-5.
but yeah, this is which I think that kind of gives you your other critique. It's like if you don't have Trick Room up, it's gonna be kind of rough. Granted, it more than likely will go up the first time. It's just a matter of can you keep having it up or
hmm
not.
Yeah, I mean, when you have a Mega Camerupt or a Mega Crabominable on the field, it's very hard to not kind of get blown up. But yeah, if you do manage to get through the Trick Room, these kinds of Trick Room teams do tend to, especially when you don't have a faster Pokemon. I know Kang is fast, but I'm talking more about like the Scarf Basculegion kind of thing, the Scarf like Staraptor with Final Gambit, Scarf Lucario, that kind of thing, where you can just kind of nuke things at the end of the game. If you don't really have one of those, then it can get very tricky in those kind of end game scenarios where you lost your primary Trick Room setter and you've only got kind of your slow attackers, maybe some middling HP because that's usually how it goes. Um, it can definitely get very tricky in those end games. But just looking at the team, I definitely could see Trick Room going up multiple times, especially with Oranguru and Farigiraf both being pretty tanky and Oranguru not being able to be flinched with that inner focus ability. Um, just like it can get dicey, but I trust that Trick Room will be up for pretty much every single game.
Yeah, I, it's not going to work except for once. But I'm also curious if Instruct works on Fake Out to where you can. Granted, it's probably still going to be the same mon, but it'd be interesting to see
I
because then
think
you
it
basically.
fails. I think I saw like somebody playing a Trick Room team just on YouTube at one point where they were like, "Oh, does this work?" They tried it and it fails. So,
Hmm, well, good to know for that and for Hannah in this situation. Don't get us wrong. Definitely, also the Instruct Last Resort will be
oh
just
god,
your other tactical note, but doesn't
yeah.
if it doesn't exist.
And I think you could also do something kind of fun where you lead Farigiraf Hatterene, have Hatterene set up Trick Room while Farigiraf sets up Psychic Terrain, and then you're just helping hand Expanding Force,
Oh
just like it's in
gosh,
DD. Sorry
yeah, that
for
is an
putting that idea
option.
out in the world.
But then there's also the other issue, which is usually also a thing with most Trick Room teams, is there will always be a not lot on this team because your Ghost and Dark types scare you for
Oh yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Minus, I guess, Crabominal with Mach Punch, but
Yeah,
uh,
that's kind of the only thing that can hit them. I mean, Klefki tech. Well, I guess Hatterene can because it's also a fairy type. But it does take neutral damage, and it's not the bulkiest thing in the world. I know it's got pretty good defenses, but its HP stat is very low. Um, yeah, it's dark types can definitely be a problem. I think Kang also gets Hammer Arm. I know this because I ran a Mega Kang with Hammer Arm at some point. Um, but yeah, definitely scared of your dark types.
yeah, I think this is another instance because we made the joke, so we need to have one for this division too. Uh, Farigiraf is Mr. President, and probably your Secret Service is either Kangaskhan or Mega Crabominable.
Yep. Yeah. If Farigiraf never goes down, then you can never not have Trick Room up.
Which you still have screens and weather control a little bit, but that could also get a little bit dicey outside of that with
Yeah,
Klefki.
the weather control isn't the most amazing in the world. Um, Especially because you really want one of your Trick Room setters out at least on turn 1, and that's usually when the most weather gets set up. So you would kind of have to lead something like Klefki and Farigiraf, and then Farigiraf Trick Room, Klefki turns off the weather or does something else, and that is not great for your first turn of Trick Room to have to swap out one, if not both, of the Pokemon out on the field. So
Yeah, that would be awkward. And I guess you could still hit foul play on Klefki, but eh.
Yeah. I
Which
had it specifically as it might struggle against Rain, because both of the Megas don't do great into Rain teams. Camerupt does have Earth Power, so it can hit our Caledon or some other Steel types that are run on Rain teams. But in general, you don't really want to have Camerupt out against Water types because of that quad resistance. And Mega Crabrawler, I mean, the Ice type doesn't touch Water types at all. The Fighting type does, but it also like it doesn't really like hitting into them because its defenses aren't great and it probably isn't going to one shot most of the rain pokemon without like helping hand boosted. I don't even know what like is its best fighting. It probably gets close combat, maybe that KO stuff. um but
I'm
yeah,
just
it's
checking. Let's see here. I guess it has Thunder Punch. That's an option,
yeah,
but that's
that's an
about
option.
it.
But yeah, it's not the greatest matchup in the world. Araquanid can do really good in the rain, but once that trick room goes down, are you going to be able to get it back up? If you have Araquanid and Farigiraf on the field, because Farigiraf kind of doesn't like being hit by rain boosted wave crash by anything. So
No. And even
yeah,
if
I
Trick Room's
mean,
going up, they could surprise you with just instead of Mega, and they just protect that turn, go Trick Room, and then it's Wave Crash without having the Swift Swim activated.
yeah, yeah,
So
it's
I think,
very much a um something to look at. But yeah, I really like the Trick Room team. I run Trick Room teams all the time. I'm not a Trick Room merchant by any means, but I did bring it. If we can kind of see in the background, I brought it to my first regional. Didn't do great, but I did bring a Trick Room team there. So I am kind of partial to Trick Room teams.
I used to be a big Trick Room uh, unbeliever hater, but I think Champions has done uh, crazy things to a man because sometimes I will click it now if it's my only option to get around other things. So Champions does things to a man. But yeah, I think the most thing is it's a very good team in Trick Room. So the only adjustments is maybe look into a couple faster mons out for when the Trick Room is over, just to be safe.
Mhm.
It's kind of a weird niche pick, but if you really want to have an interesting thing, I know it's more special than physical to its counterpart, but you could have the Basque Legion female
That's
and
exactly
just
who I was thinking about, honestly.
it
I
sure
was
it's not
like,
going to hit
Basque
as
Legion female with a scarf could really like do some damage on this team. You could drop one of your thousands of trick room setters and only have 900 of them, and have a Basque Legion female. Because if you drop Klefki, that's 13, and then I don't know if she had any points left over, but work around some a little bit of the points, you could easily get the Mega Basque Legion female at 15. Because I don't think anybody drafted it. I don't think it was drafted in either. I was definitely looking at it. I might still try and pick it up at some point. Spoilers and free agency potentially. I don't know who I'd replace, but I kind of had my eye on it, but didn't end up picking it. But
it's
yeah, I
okay,
definitely
Dev.
could see Mega Basque Legion female.
I've there's a small part of me, even though it gives me another electric weakness, there's a part of me that is considered absolutely terrifying things by picking up Mega Starmie and just skill swapping back and forth
God.
on my own Talonflame if need be or other things.
I mean, Mega Manectric didn't get drafted, so.
But yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I
we can.
think that's all for Trick Room. Next, we go up to probably the most interesting team in the draft, the Los Angeles
Yeah,
Lilies, coached by Party Arlie.
yeah. I'll be honest. When this first started, I was like, okay, we got a solid core. I'm like, and there is kind of a slot running joke right before round three. I was like, it's fine. It'll be the next thing because I'm pretty sure it was Quick who was helping out with Arlie's because she was busy a little
Mm,
bit.
yeah.
And there was an ongoing joke for a while of she likes hoeing okay, and my next response was incoming Sable I picked for round three, and I was like, okay, I get Arch, it'll be around. And then slowly until we got back to Levi, I was like scratching my head a little bit, and I was like, alrighty, I'm still here. I get Spiritomb, but I think I still would have taken Sableye, but let her cook a little bit. And it's also she is definitely the CEO of the point management system compared to not just even in their division, but any division in general.
Yeah, I mean, I covered this a bit on my winners and losers. 47 points going into the final three picks. 10 points left over. Um, very very thrifty on the team. I mean, Garbodor, Meganium, Dedenne, that's 10 points and three Pokemon, Mega Audino, and Spiritomb another 9. So very thrifty. I'm very excited to see how this kind of turns out because you never see Garbodor. You never see, I mean, you see some people try Dedenne. It never really comes to matches. I'm not sure why that is. I've never tried to use Dedenne. Mega Dino, you never see. Spiritomb, it could be good with Will-O-Wisp. I think it also gets Trick Room and a couple other kind of fun moves. So it's definitely an interesting team outside of that initial 3 ring.
And that's not to say it's bad at all. It's just
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really sure much on Meganium unless it's Mega, Dedenne, and Spiritomb. I can tell you Spiritomb does get Trick Room, but
Okay.
still very less knowledgeable in my things about it. Garbodor, I'm sorry, I have to be slightly critical here. Literal Gen 5 trash. So,
You're not
the thing about
wrong.
there's the Mega Audino is interesting. I know in a different draft league I didn't take it, but we were all just kind of being like, what does this do? None of us drafted, but we're like, hmm, all right, well, this could cook, but I'm still not taking a gamble on it. It does get Simple Beam, so if you have your stamina boost already on Arch and want to switch that over to Simple Beam, get +2 instead of 1 from Electro Shot. That is something to try.
Yeah, that could be a
The,
little bit scary.
yeah, and I think the Weavile and Noivern and Armarouge still do things that they need to do with this team
Yeah,
as well.
Noivern, great pick for Tailwind, especially at 12 points. I think it's like the third fastest Tailwind that's not Prankster. Because I know it is a little, I think it's like 189 speed when you're max invested. So I think it out underspeeds Talonflame and Aerodactyl, but I think it's faster than pretty much everything else. Weavile super fast. It has great type coverage in Dark and Ice as well as getting Fake Out. Armarouge, weak armor, can also set up Tailwind. Also has Flash Fire. Um, Great picks there. I mean, I can't like. There's nothing in this draft where I'm like, I can't see like what this is doing here.
Yeah, I think it will be different. Definitely interesting to see what the middle can do, just because I'm very unfamiliar with it.
Yeah,
But to be fair, that is kind of what my main adjustment was. But to each discretion, when we say this to each team, my only thing is I think you could take a couple of your value picks and maybe upgrade it if you don't want it. If I think she was considering Meganium as a mega, but didn't realize the mega cap. So
yeah,
I think you could probably take some of those value picks, combine them, and mega evolve your Meganium if that's something you want to do or try. And even if it doesn't, I can't say for sure, but I'm not sure how many people would uh, go back and try to grab and snap those from you as well. So if it doesn't work out and you want to try that again, you could pick it right back up.
yeah. And I could definitely see like dropping Dedenne or something where it's one of those like really low points because again, 10 points left over, you could drop Dedenne and immediately get like a 12-point electric type just to strengthen that kind of electric typing that you've got. I think you have Showdown pulled up. Does Dedenne get Fake Out? Because I know it's a Pika clone, so it
Um,
might.
I know it gets entrainment. I'm pretty sure. I don't know about fake out. So give me just a second, and I shall check. No fake out, but I do just learn it does have super fang, so that's something to watch out
Interesting.
for.
Okay. So you could run it as kind of a mini mouse hold without the follow me and the friend guard.
Yeah, which I'm sure I probably should have checked. I'm sure it gets electro web. I know it gets nuzzle if
Sure.
not. So
Yeah, it's definitely could be
it does
used as
get
another
electro
form
web.
of speed control as well.
So, but yeah, I think the only which there is also your option for Hurricane Noivern. I did realize
Yeah.
that shortly after. Um, if there was a Sylvia on the team, you could play a very weird Stratus skill swap and then have Boom Burst Pixelate.
Oh,
So,
jeez.
but Sylveon may be gone. My brain is blanking a little bit here, so I
I'm sure
probably
it
need to pull
is
up the
because
draft board.
Sylveon's always picked pretty early, and I feel like I would have seen that on the draft board and been confused. But I also
I
almost
think that
missed
would have
Mega
made the
Gengar
bingo
not
card
going.
if not.
So
Uh, the other thing, obviously, about this team, as a Family Guy character known as Ollie Williams would say, "It's gonna rain."
yeah, some of the weaknesses that we have is she doesn't have a redirector. I wanted to make sure before this that Garbodor didn't get like some unique move that redirects, and it does not. Um, that could I see potentially being an issue, especially when you've got Mega Swampert who hates grass types. You have Arcalodon who hates those earth powers. Any um special move really, Draco Meteor especially, like, will still knock it out even though it's just kind of normal. I could definitely see a redirector being very beneficial here. As well as you had this one, quarry sites are a no-go. Rock and ground
Oh yeah,
types are very good
yeah.
against this team.
Because there's, let's see, I'm just trying to count. One, two, three, four. You have four problems with ground that I'm looking at, and maybe I'm counting this wrong, but just looking at it off the top of my head, and then you have one, two, three, four, at least, yeah, about four still for your rock problems as well. Granted, there's ways to get around rock and ground with
Mhm.
Pelipper. You can also kind of take it away if you want to be a madman and choice scarf soak into electro shot. Uh, Lord knows I've done it before just for fun. You also do have the option if you don't want to be that crazy and just run sash or choice scarf weather ball with rain, so
Yeah,
long as
and
you
you
still
also
have.
have Mega Swampert, which kind of just blows up both those types. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's all we have on Arlie's team, which again, very unique team. But next we go to probably one of the most decorated players who are playing, if not the most, in Lorcy coaching the New York Mudbrays.
Oh yes. Also, once again, I gotta say it. I know there's gonna be some cringe factor, but this may be my, if not my favorite, then probably my second favorite team, just because of the Paldean Toros. But I also think there's very good team synergy here with, as well as this team. It has kind of the other flip coin of speed tiers where this team will go fast. I don't know what the average is off the top of my head, but I see Frostlash, which I know is speedy. You have Dragon Dance options and Scrafty if you want to try that, and you have two speed boost spawns on this team as well,
Yeah, this team will be
which I'm
going very fast.
which I am also just now noticing. You don't have one, you don't have two, you don't have even three. You have four if you mega the Scrafty. Intimidate users.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how much Intimidate is on this team. You will not be getting a physical attack off unless you are either Annihilate or King Gambit.
Yeah. Which you also have priority blocking again with the Czarina. We've talked back and forth about how important blocking priority can be.
Yeah, and to have one of the only two priority blockers that can block as soon as they come in, it's amazing to have one of those, especially being able to take it not with your first couple of picks, but taking it with your fourth. Um, it just makes this team a whole lot scarier because you can't shadow sneak, you can't sucker punch the Frostlass that's right in front of you. Mega Scrafty is a great secondary mega because I'm somebody who uses Mega Scrafty. I know it's a secondary mega. Um, but it just, like, if you can find the right matchup for it, it can really put in work. It can really mitigate that opposing damage with fake out, intimidate. It doesn't have a switching move, kind of sadly, where it can't like U-turn or parting shot out. It did get parting shot in ZA, but then immediately lost it as we went into champions.
You already answered my question because I was about to ask. I was like, did they give this thing parting shot, or am I
They
remembering that
did,
wrong?
and then they took it back.
So You and me both have our megas suffer from success in ZA to only be retconned immediately because Greninja
Yep.
lost both Scald and Nasty Plot that it got in
Yep.
ZA.
Very
It
sad.
didn't even see the light of day.
But yeah, I mean, this is a very, very well-rounded team. The only thing I could see is that if he faces a Defiant Mon or a competitive, well, I guess he has one of the only competitive mods in
Yeah,
Milotic on his team. So
yeah, so it's mostly just Define, I think. I
yeah,
could be wrong about that.
I think also Mega Meowstic and Meowstic Female didn't get drafted, so I think it's quite literally only Milotic with competitive that can do anything with it.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about that whatsoever.
If someone gets zany with the free agency, maybe Empoleon, if you really want to try that.
Oh yeah, I guess Empoleon does get competitive, doesn't it? But I mean, you still just die to Mega Scrafty and
Yeah.
Tauros.
So does it really matter?
Yeah. And even then you've got King Gambit which dies to Scrafty and Tauros. Mega Scrafty, like you can get it to like +4 and it doesn't even take like 50% from a sucker punch if trained pretty like defensively. And then it just immediately one shots back with close combat or drain punch. So Scrafty does not care about your Defiant King Gambit. Um, for Annihilate, it would be a little bit scarier, but Frostlass does outspeed, and then you also don't have to bring Intimidate into Annihilate. So it's just this team is very, very well put together. I am not sad that I am not in Dusk, so I do not have to face this team.
I have to know something as one of the ostrich enjoyers. So give me just a second because there might be also another sneaky option you can do.
As you look
Does
that
this
up, we have a few other things. This team has 6 different immunities. You could have 2 ghost types, you have steel type, you have I don't know what else the immunities are coming from. Just looking at it. Doesn't matter. There's 6 different immunities on this team and their average base stat total of 529. That's not the highest in the league, but that is just something to point out. It is on the higher end.
Yeah, I think there's repeat immunities, but it's still something to know. I think it's normal fighting for 2 of those, but
Mm-hmm.
uh, I'd have to look at the other ones as well. Oh, poison because you're still top.
Yep.
But so there's at least 5. I don't know where the 6th one is off the top of my head. But
Trying to figure out
what I
how.
what I was checking is to see if you could be sneaky with speed swap instead of skill swap with a Spothra, but it does not get it. So that's what I was checking in on because I
Does
was thinking you
Luxray
could
get
be sneaky.
lightning rod?
I think I know it's intimidating guts. I don't know what it's if it has another ability. Let me check.
I'm just trying to
No, it
see
has
because I
5.
only see the 5 because I see the normal, I see the poison, I see the fighting. I don't see the 6th, and I'm very confused.
Oh, it's psychic because it's crafty. I
Oh,
just realized what
duh.
it was.
Okay, yeah. No, you're right.
We both didn't see that, so
Yeah. We both know our type charts.
it's just on the fly. We promise. But also I think top chart's slightly all over the place, just a little bit. But I mean, I think you still have ways to get around that with your team. Your only speed control is kind of Icy Wind. Whether you put that on Frostlass or Milotic is up to you, but still, it's a little rough. And
Mm,
obviously, not the worst thing in the world, but you do have a little bit of trouble with Trick Room.
yeah. Mega Scrafty's great in Trick Room, so is Aegislash, but if you do face that Mega Camerupt, then you might have quite a troublesome time if Milotic can't get into a good position. Because Helping Hand Earth Power, from like my own experience, just kind of blows up everything that's not named Milotic. Um, I've KO'd so many Garchomp Helping Hand Earth Power that people just are not expecting from full HP. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think outside of Trick Room, very like good. I'm not sure if the team even needs Tailwind. We put it down, but I mean, you have Blaziken and Espathra who have that speed boost that we've mentioned. You've got a
And we'll
ton of damage mitigation in the Intimidates. You can get Aurora Veil with Frostlass. Like, there's a ton of good stuff coming in with this team.
Yeah, you also have skill swap if you want to mess around and move where your speed booster is in times that other times they could also be very nasty to just skill swap with Frostlass, give it a boost, and just cycle so you keep snow up at all
Yep.
times.
Yeah. But yeah,
But I think,
Morsi definitely has one of the best drafted teams. I will hands down say that.
yeah, which I think we can kind of move on to our next team of, and I hope I'm saying this right, Kaguya.
That's how I said
Maybe.
it. I'm going to assume that's right and just hope for the best. It is the Manhattan Morpekos, coached by
Oh yeah.
Kaguya Falls.
Which I think we have to go right off the bat because, granted, I know I did it, but mine's less cool. But we have the round one pick of for aura farming with the aura wheel Mon in Morpeko.
Yeah, and this is something I also covered on the winners and losers. Kaguya Falls is probably the best Morpeko trainer in the world, solely because he was able to get Morpeko to the champions tier. That's just like, that's something that you can definitely brag about.
Yeah, if there's anybody that has earned the title and champions of Morpeko Professor, I think it's definitely him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I haven't hit champions tier yet. Granted, I haven't like grinded a ton for it, but like being able to hit, not only hit champions tier, but also with a Pokemon that like obviously not many people are expecting to hit it, because it's not like the most obviously good Pokemon in the world. It does have a lot of good utility and a lot of like surprise factor on it, but like that's like not the most common thing in the world.
Yeah, and I also think he's got, with his megas, granted, one of them is more support, but it does that support role very well with Scoville and Lopunny. And to be fair, because I see it the same way I see it from my team, he does have the workaround of having a third mega with Ditto if
Yep.
needed.
Yeah, I'm Mega Scovillain is really good, especially into all of the physical megas that we have seen kind of throughout doing this. It also has really good redirection, and it like is surprisingly bulky. It feels like it never gets one shot, at least when I play it. Like I'll helping hand something into it and it lives with like 20% left, and then Leech Seed heals up. It feels like a citrus berry every single time it goes off. It just Mega Scovillain, I feel like it's very surprisingly tanky for what it is.
Yeah, and I think looking somewhat at just a few of the weaknesses, there's probably not a whole lot, but, and I know this is more of Pokemon related, but I'm going to give another original Cartoon Network shout out to another series of Ben 10. Keep Pesky Dusk away from this team because it hates fairy types.
Mm. A lot of the Pokemon do hate fairy types, but I will say Mega Scovillain, Scizor, and Glamora also can all deal with fairy types themselves.
Yes.
Especially Scizor, Swords Dance, Bullet Punch. Glamora can just, it does not care about fairies at all. But yeah, you get Mega Lopunny, doesn't really like them. Morpeko, clearly, Dragonite, Malamar, all of those. Not great up against those fairy types.
Which I think
um,
if you lose, oh, you go on
you're
ahead.
fine. No, you're fine.
I was going to say, if you lose Scoville before it can do Scoville things, or someone has skill swap and then punishes you with your own ability, that's when your bulk can get a little bit dicey.
Yeah. Squavillain is doing a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of being able to kind of damage mitigate because there's no intimidate on this team. Um, although I will say Ditto also I feel like could be very, I feel like it could be a lot better here than kind of on your team where you already have those like huge attacking megas, because you bring Scovillain and Ditto and then you have your supporting mega next to a like actual attacking mega, versus you'll
Yeah.
have like the double attacking one, which is great on its own, but if you have a Mega Scovillain next to a like, I don't know, Mega Charizard, I feel like that's pretty good.
Yeah, definitely could be.
Yeah,
Um,
a lot of the Pokemon picked on this team that make it really unique weren't drafted in Dawn. Mega Scovillain wasn't, Primarina wasn't. I don't think Malamar was either. I could be wrong about the Malamar, but I believe it wasn't. I also think Chimecho wasn't.
I
So
think
a
he
lot of
almost,
unique ones.
yeah, I think we both were confused at some point because I went to go update it and showing how long we were on the doing this. I think I accidentally almost broke the rules for him and gave him Mega Malamar, so I had to go back and change that within like 4 or 5 minutes.
I mean, he could have
He,
three
he
mangas. He's got
technically
a
only
more
got
Pecco.
4. So,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
another kind of weakness that I found is that there is a caveat of Ditto being on this team, but the base stat total is the only one under 500 at 496 as the average throughout the team. It's the lowest in
Hmm.
both leagues, both divisions. Um, so it's not the strongest team in the world. Again, caveat, there is a Ditto, which can turn into a 600, 700 base stat total Pokemon. It will never be that like Ditto, but it is a very frail team. Just kind of looking at everything outside of like Dragonite and Mimikyu having the substitute ability, a lot of these things can at some point just kind of immediately get one shot by something or another.
Yeah, I think there's a slight caveat to be bulky, but it only happens if you can find a way to uh, be the unsuspecting threat of cosmic powers, stored powered Chimecho. So
Oh
good luck with that.
god. One haze and that never works.
Yeah. Granted, he's got probably one of the better ones that can hit haze, so he doesn't have to worry about that with Primarina, but I'm sure
That's
there's
true.
other things I don't realize.
Milotic does get haze as well though, so
That is true. But yeah, I think we can kind of probably move on to our next team unless you have anything to add,
nope.
Dev.
I think we kind of got through all that. Next up is the San Antonio Spectriers, coached by Quick Panic.
Yeah, and I think this is kind of a joking pro, but for him and everybody involved, especially if we get to highlight it during one of our spectator matches in the future, Dev, I would dare say 7 out of 9 of his mons recommend being shiny, and he will probably have them.
Oh yeah.
The Chandelure and Kommo-O kind of to be determined, so
I would
I'm not
honestly
big on
say
the.
that I feel like my least favorite shiny on this team is kind of Houndstone. Like Grievard has a great shiny, but then Houndstone kind of just like turns bleh yellow.
Faded Faded
Yeah.
gold, maybe.
I
Yeah,
maybe call it that. I wish they kept Grievard's color. Is kind of my point.
yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of okay with it. It's more of, I mean, Chandelure is kind of a whatever one to me in a way. Maybe that's just
Really,
me.
I love
Uh,
Chandelure shiny. The like orange flames
I,
make it look so much better.
actually, I think I take that back. I think I'm thinking of maybe Mega Chandelure. It's kind of a little weird and off-putting a
Oh
little bit.
yeah, I could see
But
that.
so, uh, edit to that note: 8 out of 9 mons. Still up in there about Kommo-O. I don't really care for its pink
I like
coloring. To be
Kommo-O,
honest.
but we can keep it 8 out of 9 just to throw in some discourse.
Yeah, we'll let him decide it all overall on everybody else. That's up. That's our unofficial official question of the week. What's your opinion on Shiny Kommo-O? Just to give a little nod to the Oko
Yeah.
podcast.
Feel like we should have
But
that at the
yeah,
start of the video.
we'll know for next time.
Yeah,
But
but
yeah, I
going
think
into the actual pros and cons, I'll let you kind of get into them first if you want.
yeah, I was gonna say you do have weather control several different ways, but that could also be a kind of a double-edged sword. So I'll cover a weakness and a pro. I put down 2, but the joke could also technically be with Lipard three weather setters walk in a bar and have to decide which one of them gets to do it.
Hmm. Yeah, I know
Which
somebody in Dawn. I can't remember off the top of my head because we covered it a few days ago. Had also that Tyranitar and Alolan Ninetales kind of dual weather core. I think it is definitely interesting. I think it works well in both situations, especially here where you don't have that Excadrill to take advantage of Sand Rush and kind of the sand at the same time. Houndstone likes it, but also isn't necessarily, it doesn't need it as kind of much as Excadrill does to kind of do whatever it wants.
yeah,
Um,
which I
Mega
guess you could
Mawile
run.
like sand, doesn't need it. Say what
Which
you're
I
gonna
guess
say.
the one way to get around that is unnerve, and then they can't eat berries, so that's
Yeah.
another option if you choose to go that route and want to
Yeah.
bring both and just kind of have I guess probably a Dragon Dancing Tyranitar in that case.
Yeah, I
So
mean, Dragon Dance Tyranitar is not bad at all.
yeah, which
I love having Ninetales and Mega Sceptile on the same team though, because that makes it so that's one less ice type you have to worry about, and one of the most consistent Blizzard users also don't have to care about that when you have Mega Sceptile right next to you instead of opposing. Because then you're not worried about that ice type. You can set up Aurora Veil to make the not very tanky Mega Sceptile actually take some hits. That's kind of the one downside to Mega Sceptile. It's super fast, but also pretty frail for a Mega. Mega Mawile isn't that same way. It's very slow, but also a lot more tanky. It's not the most tanky Mega in the world, but also it hits like a truck, so it doesn't really matter.
yeah,
Um, you said
which
this functions great both in and out of Trick Room.
yes, in some ways, even if you want to do it with the Houndstone, if you don't want to run Sand Rush, I don't know off the top of my head what its actual base speed is, but I still think Fluffy Ghost Top instead and Trick Room can still do it. It does still get last respects. Chandelure can work inside of that. Mega Mawile loves to be in Trick Room.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, some of the rest, I guess, are slightly up to debate, but I think it still works. And then you have your out of Trick Room mode. If if you want to kind of be in, there is a weird thing you could do, I guess, with this. If I'm remembering right, I think it does get imprisoned. So in theory, you could run Choice Scarf on your Rotom, trick it into being only be able to use in Choice Scarf, Trick Room, and then imprison on the Chandelure. If
Mm-hmm.
they try that again, then you could switch out after you've done Trick the Choice Scarf, Discharge. Well, I guess that depends if you've already made your Sceptile or not, but you get the idea.
Yeah, that could definitely be a good strategy. Yeah, but you mentioned Houndstone getting last respects, Sandrush with Will-O-Wisp, also great. You could run the Fluffy with Will-O-Wisp as well inside of a Trick Room core. Um, I really love Houndstone on sand teams. It just feels like it's such an underrated mon. I know it's not the most bulky mon in the world, but also having Sandrush and Will-O-Wisp and Last Respects, I mean, that's something that I feel like is very good. It also isn't like weak to ground or weak to water or something. It also covers all those other weaknesses that like you don't necessarily want to have too many ground weakness Pokemon in a sand team. I know like all of them like, or I should say, are weak to ground, like with Excadrill and Tyranitar and all them. But having Houndstone where it's not weak to that, but also takes advantage of the sand is also a very, very nice addition to have.
Yeah, which kind of giving this as part of my secret nickname vault. If you need a nickname quick for the Houndstone, call it Scooby Boo.
I like that one. We'll get into some of the weaknesses that we found. How consistent can Chandelure really be as a trick room setter? I know there's some trick room teams on the ladder that use Mega, or I think it is Mega Chandelure, or maybe it's Chandelure with a Focus Sash. I'm not entirely sure which one it is. As a trick room setter, I feel like it isn't the most consistent one in the world though, just because Chandelure isn't like it's a ghost type, yes, but also it's not the most bulky thing in the world. It has a good ability in Flash Fire, but it also is then weak to ground. It's weak to water, which a lot of these other trick room setters are kind of only weak to like dark and maybe ghost sometimes, with Fergraf being immune to it. Um, it just feels like it's not as consistent as the other kind of trick room setters.
Yeah, and I think one of the other points slightly there, it's not the end of the world, and it's probably my more favorite way to go instead of balance or defense. That it's a very hyper offensive team, but it's also very much glass cannon the team in a way because I just looked it up. While its average is 60, it's 68.2. Uh, so that makes it a little rough. To kind of give context, your best HP stat comes from Tyranitar at 100, and then immediately drops to Kommo-O at 75. So,
Yeah, that's
so
not the bulkiest team.
So probably our best critique or idea for free agency, if anything, would maybe look into getting a couple more bulky mons, if anything.
Yeah. And again, just to say again, none of these are like you have to do these ideas or these weaknesses actually matter. This is just us looking at the teams and just saying, oh, maybe this is something that could be a weakness. So,
Yeah. Which I think we can kind of move on to our next team if you want to, Dev, in the
yep.
Rocky Mountain Clusters.
Yep. The Rocky Mountain Cloisters, coached by Zach Beans.
Which, kind of to address it, we've talked about ours and how some people got to draft other things. How do we let Annihilate and Mousehold onto the same team as well?
Yeah. We can let Mousehold and Gardevoir be on the same team because I know they're like a pretty common duo together. But how do you let all three of them to get together, as well as Hydreigon, who like covers a lot of what Mega Gardevoir doesn't like?
Yeah, even if you're not sure what to do in a certain scenario, you have both ways, minus obviously your competitive and defiant mons. But you have damage mitigation in both Hydreigon with Breaking Slap and Snarl.
Yep. And then not to mention the friend guard from Mousehold as well. Just like
Oh yes, so.
you get a breaking swipe down, you have Mousehold in there, you're not doing any physical damage. You do the exact same thing with a Snarl, you're not doing special damage. It's just it's crazy that all of these were able to get on the same team. It's very very annoying to play against, I'm sure.
Not to mention all your setup options here. I mean, even just with offensive, you can do the beat up Rage Fist. You have Contrary, Leaf Storm. Uh, Even if that's not how you want to do it, you can probably redirect with a lot of things on this team.
Mm-hmm.
And have Nasty Plot on Hydreigon, Calm Mind on Gardevoir. I'm pretty sure Infernape gets both setups and then also has at least whichever version of the priority punching move you want to go with, Vacuum Wave or Mock Punch.
Yeah, that's good. Just like a ridiculous amount of stuff that you can do when you have Mousehold on your team. Because it just enables so many different strategies where like you could just bluff that you have Mousehold, just have it in the team preview, and your entire game plan does not matter. And then everybody's like, oh, he's got Mousehold, so you got to be aware of this and that. And then it's just Scarf Annihilate, and then you just lose.
Yeah, which we didn't. Looking in my notes too, something to also note is that I'm almost for certain that you have two Tailwind Mons. If you don't feel like if you don't feel like bringing the Skarmory just to be safe, you do have that with Hydreigon as well. Which you also have some. We talked about it on obviously Infernape, but you also do have priority with Ice Shard on Mamo as well.
Yep. Yeah, and I am gonna lie and say that somebody else is a priority move, so I'm not actually gonna say that. I don't think anybody else gets one.
Let's hope not. Maybe Sucker Punch on Hydreigon.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say, but I'm not entirely sure.
Give me a
It also
second.
doesn't really matter because Hydreigon's not really a physical attacker anyway. But
This just in, it does not,
okay,
thankfully.
I was like, I want to say it does, but I don't think it does. Okay, but good to know that it does not. Yeah, some of the weaknesses, kind of my biggest one is I'm a little confused about what the Toxapex is doing here. It's really good when you have something to like wide guard against, but when you have Mousehold, you have Annihilate, people aren't really going to be wanting to click like spread moves to power up that Rage Fist. I feel like when you face an Annihilate, you kind of just try and blow it up right away or kill its partner and then kill it. Um,
Yeah.
because you don't want that Rage Fist. I could see it maybe against if you're using like Mega Skarmory against something with a Heat Wave, but in that case, why are you bringing Mega Skarmory in the first place? It just feels a little bit out of place on this team. Maybe it's also to stall out Trick Room. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, it's Toxapex is a good Pokemon. I'm a little confused at what it's kind of doing here on a more like hyper offensive team with the Fast Gardevoir, Annihilate, and Hydreigon.
I mean, maybe Toxic Stall, Friend Guard with Infestation if you can make it work, but if you have two support things, that's also going to be a very interesting thing to see if it actually works or not.
Hmm.
Um, maybe we've talked about it, but I think to a lesser degree with this team, you do have the option, I guess, of surprise factor, gravity, Kings Rock, Mouse-O with Pop Bomb. But like I said, on this team, it's a little bit more. I feel like this is more of a supportive Mouse-O than an offensive Mouse-O with this team.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely looks that way. I mean, you could always surprise somebody, bring Mega Skarmory and then the Technician Mousehold. Um, but yeah, it definitely feels like this Mousehold wants to be clicking Follow Me. It wants to be clicking Super Fang. It wants to be clicking maybe Beat Up into Annihilate or something. Yeah, it definitely feels like the more supportive in this case.
Which, kind of looking also into it slightly there, is not saying either one is bad. It's just a matter of your two megas. It's like, granted, Skarmory, it's kind of okay, but if you're not megan with the Gardevoir, that's gonna probably not be the best thing for you,
Yeah,
especially since you're
Gardevoir
locked to that.
definitely feels worse without an item than Skarmory does. I also have opposing fire types don't feel super threatened because the only mon that can hit it with super effective damage that's stab is Mamoswine. Toxapeck is not going to be clicking a water type move, and if it does, it's going to be doing 0 damage. Um,
Yeah,
Everything else, it doesn't really like being hit by a fire type move, bar like Hydreigon. Um, and even Mamoswine isn't taking a fire move super well. Even with thick fat, it's still going to be doing quite a bit of damage. And then with thick fat, you're like opening yourself up to intimidate. As well
if
as
you want
I
to run
think,
oblivious, I guess, but then that's also feels bad that you don't have thick fat.
yeah. So it's Mamoswine kind of is struggling with its ability there. I want to highlight week 1 is versus a Delphox and Sneasler, and
Ooh,
that combination, the entire team is weak to that to Pokemon Core.
yeah,
Heat Wave hits everything, and then whatever Heat Wave doesn't hit, Psychic hits or close combat hits, and yeah, it's not
yeah.
great.
Also to mention, maybe if Annihilate still could run Choice Scarf Final Gambit, that'd be a different story. But sadly it did lose Final Gambit and Champions, so this is a
Yeah.
whole different ballpark now.
Yeah, you could maybe get away with Choice Scarf and Rage Fist because you probably can use Mousehold, redirect away, and then Rage Fist into Delphox to 2-hit KO it, and then probably end up taking out Sneasler with it as well. But that seems like a very kind of hit or miss strategy. Um, and then you're kind of locking
Maybe
yourself out of Annihilate.
maybe because I thought about doing something similar that we've talked about in the other video. I don't know how much it's really going to help you, but I mean, I guess there is the option of Choice Scarf Rage Fist with Ice Shard Memo,
Yeah,
but I don't know how well that works with that.
I don't know. I feel like against Delphox, the Rage Fist is going to KO, but then I'm not really sure what you do about the Sneasler, where it's clicking close combat into Mammo after a not very effective Ice Shard.
Not to mention, does that even get off? Because is it going to fake you out with Sneasler?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be a very tough week 1 matchup. Outside of that, I think you only face Delphox once a season. You're kind of in the clear after you face Delphox in week 1. Um but yeah, just a very tough week 1 matchup, and I think it kind of gets easier from there with this team.
Yeah, I think we don't. I don't necessarily have anything right on my notes, but something maybe to look into if you're going to do anything different free agency wise is maybe look into, dropping the Toxapex with something else and getting a more versatile. Maybe that's the right word to use here, or versatile or
Mm,
offensive water type.
yeah, I think I I think the team could probably use it, but again, we don't know what the Toxapex is there for, so we'll have to wait and see through the season. Again,
Yeah.
very good team. I'm very scared of Mousehold plus everything else on this team. So, no, again, glad I'm not in Dusk, so I don't have to face this. I'm very
You and me both.
like, there's so many good teams in Dusk. It's crazy. I mean, everybody in both leagues drafted great this year. I'm very excited to see how the season plays out. Great team again. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Which I think we can kind of move on to our next team of the Atlanta Braviaries, coached by Furret Jesus.
Yep.
Uh, we kind of highlighted this, but right off the bat, how do we let King Gambit and Charizard be on the same team?
Yeah.
And then, granted, it is a mega, so it feels that's kind of one of the cons. As the other part of it is, you're kind of locked to your mega stone for Garchomp as your item, but still at the same time, how did all three of these get on the same team? And we also have kind of also part of the other sunflower team minus your flower part of that with Sylveon and Aerodactyl.
Yeah. And I mean, Vileplume just kind of takes the place of Venusaur on this team. It's a little bit slower, but like, who cares? You've just got like, you basically just have an entire team right there in your top six. And then you've got the Sableye and Clefable for redirection and then support. This team is like, this team is very good and very scary. Garchomp, I feel like doesn't really need to care about its item. Um, because any of the times that it wouldn't want to mega, you'd bring Charizard, and then anytime Charizard doesn't want to mega, you bring Garchomp, and then Garchomp is now even stronger because Mega Chomp is still very good. It's less good than its normal counterpart, but also like in draft league, that doesn't really matter because you have a lot of people using the not like the Pokemon that it's scared of aren't you're not going to be facing those every single week. So then you've got the Mega Garchomp now that's even stronger, even bulkier. And you've got the Tailwind support of Aerodactyl, you've got Sylveon, you've got Sableye to be super annoying with screens, Will-O-Wisp, just your ultimate support tool, and then Clefable to um follow me everything away. It's just this team is insane.
Yeah, with unaware too, which also allows you to set up with other parts of your team as well.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you kind of maybe the option if you want to bring the Dragon Dance on Aerodactyl, but you also have Swords Dance. There's the option to be a little bit wacky and zany if you want to be that way. Obviously, you're probably still not going to run it physical. You're probably still running special, but you could pack on Dragon Dance even on the Charizard and
Yep.
Scale Shot, Swords Dance for Garchomp. So, which
Yeah.
also now looking at Calm Mind Sylveon.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this team is so good. Extremely good type chart management. You had this on there: 23 weaknesses, 35 resists, and 10 immunities. I think 10 is by far the most out of everyone.
Oh yeah, there's another one we'll mention here in a bit, but I think that's probably your best top chart management out of everybody in the Dust Division. I don't know, maybe overall in general, I haven't really checked all the top charts in our division of Dawn, so I can't say for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, some of the weaknesses that we tried to find with this team, Garchomp can't be flexible with items, talked about that a little bit, but also it doesn't super need to be. It can still be super scary running just like timid max speed and or adamant even with Aerodactyl getting that fast tailwind. Um, it doesn't like Garchomp is so good it doesn't need an item, which is the problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a reason why I have the phrase of, well, I mean, it's already been a phrase for a while, but I've also been, well, if you can't beat them, join them. After being rock slide flinched by that Garchomp, un just overly insane, I was like, well, it's time to take it. And let's just say, if you haven't seen it, there's an apology that I made very semi-public in the Discord of of running a choice scarf variant. Granted, in this case, you can't do that with this Garchomp, but you have Tailwind, so technically you still could.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I remember I was running a choice scarf for. In this case, it was singles, so I got a little bit more away with it. But absolutely decimated a Kanto star team. They brought in Charizard, nuked it with Rock Slide, and then uh, slightly felt bad. I say slightly there. It would be significantly more if I hadn't faced part of this in my own RNG problems. But proceeded to go on. They brought Blastoise and Venusaur, and I Rock Slide flinched it to death too. So Rock Slide is a broken move for sure.
Yeah. And Garchomp, Mega Garchomp, it just hits even harder, which is again dumb.
I'm curious to see what week we see Sandstorm Aerodactyl if it gets Sandstorm with
I'm
the
sure it
Sand
gets Sandstorm.
Force on Garchomp. So that'll be an
Yeah.
interesting week, I'm sure, if we get to
Hmm.
see it.
I said it might struggle into harder trick room teams. There's no priority
Yeah.
blocking, which again, that's very limited, so I'm not expecting them to have priority blocking. And then Sylveon and King Gambit aren't the slowest mons. They're base 60 and 70, I think, off the top of my head. I know
Mm,
maybe they're
give me
no, they're
a
not
second.
speed tying. I don't think, because I think Sylveon's 80 without investment. Um, Regardless, they're not the slowest mons, so it's gonna potentially struggle into that hard trick room team we saw earlier. You could probably lead Charizard and Vileplume and just start putting things to sleep instead. Um, but yeah, this team is very good. I'm not sure if you really even care. You could also lead Gambit Sylveon and just try and blow things up. Um, just yeah, very good team overall. Sableye does get, or I think I'm lying if I say it gets Trick Room. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't.
I don't
Don't
think it
really
does.
know.
It's one of the few that doesn't, but I'll check to
Yeah.
make sure. As a Sableye enjoyer, I definitely should know that, but I'm almost certain it does. If I've looked. But I'll look again. No, it gets trick, but not trick room.
Okay. Yeah. I thought it didn't, but then I was like, well, does it? Because I know some prankster mons get it. Okay. So yeah, there's no way to reverse Trick Room on this team. Um, but again, you've got Unaware Clefable to follow me anything away. You've got um Sylveon and King Gambit, who are both, again, they're good in Trick Room. They're just not the slowest, so you won't immediately outspeed. And then you've got your Vileplume, which can just put things to sleep before Trick Room even goes up. So you don't really have a ton to be worried about. And then I'll let you harp on this point. Minus Garchomp, it does struggle a little bit into Sneasler.
Yeah. You have, granted, it also depends on what the Sneasler brings, but close combat, poison jab, add a move, it's going to hurt. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
in this case, if they didn't have the maniac, if they did not have Sableye, someone could be a maniac and even just go. Uh, if you've watched my video, which slight TLDR beat, just know there's some choice language in that. I did apologize when I if you see it, but the in that video there's a wacky Sableye team next to Swagger, Lumberry, Sneasler, Unburn and Go AWOL when you can, and it was running Rock Slide in that set. So
Yeah. I know it also gets Rock Tomb as well, which hits Charizard a bit harder, but doesn't obviously have that flinch chance. But
yeah,
with the speed lowering, it can allow some Pokemon that maybe Charizard wants to KO to outspeed it and KO it back.
which even if that's the case, I guess I don't know which team off the top of my head has a Sneasler. I can look into it.
That would be the Delphox team, which I think is Emma's,
Okay.
which we have not covered yet.
Um,
It's, I think, one of the last
okay.
ones.
I was gonna say there's also just the White Herb option, I think, but I
Yeah.
have to see if you side target. Not really much side targeting, but still, it's still gonna be rough.
Yeah. Well, I think that's probably enough for this insane team. As we go on to one of the hosts of the podcast, Mr. Joe Brown and the New Haven Charizards.
Also, the commissioner of this league that makes this possible.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Shoot. Lots of titles to give him.
I think we already know which strength is coming just because of the thing you've always heard if you've watched the podcast. I think of everybody, we all get drained of the Oko buff, and it just immediately goes to Joe Brown, just because he hosted.
Yeah.
Which, Dev, I kind of see it also in my notes, so I'll let you tackle that one here in just a second. But the one I will put on there that I saw is, Joe also made a pro player move to take Basculegion and then immediately take its one counter in Heliolisk when it got back around to him.
Yeah,
So
Heliolisk
that's
is
gonna be a rough
just
time.
very good into Basculegion, being able to take both of its stabs and not take any damage from it with dry skin and that normal typing. He clearly watched our pre-draft show where I harped on Heliolisk for a little bit too long. I really wanted to draft it in our division, but I couldn't justify yet another ground weakness. So sadly, I
Which he
can't
didn't
join the
message.
Heliolisk fun.
Yeah, he did message me immediately after he did that and said, "Hey, Splits, shout outs and thank you to you and Dev for reminding me what this Heliolisk can do to my Basculegion." So, I can promise you he absolutely watched the pre-draft show and was influenced by that pick.
But yeah, I love this team. Great. I mean, he was able to get Polytoad and Mega Staraptor so late
Yeah.
that it's just I don't know how that managed to happen and how Mega Staraptor was able to fall so far. But Mega Metagross and Mega Staraptor on the same team is so scary, especially with the Grimmsnarl screens, the like parting shot into your own Staraptor to get it, and then bring in something else that like Arcanine maybe Intimidate, bring in the Rain, bring in even Heliolisk if you want to. I mean, just who let this happen? That's my question.
Not not to mention also with the Polytoad, he now has the option of either running Adaptability or Swift Swim, whichever one he wants to on his Basque.
Yeah, and then Dry Skin Heliolisk heals in the rain too, which it's ridiculous just how good this team is. We've
I'm
covered some
so
really good
glad
teams
we don't have to
also, but
face
it's
this
just
right
like
now.
I don't get it. Who let this
Yeah.
happen? Yeah,
Which
covered it. Prankster screens and parting shot for Staraptor. Excellent type chart management. 28 weaknesses, 40 resistances, and 7 immunities. Not as many as the 10 from earlier, but yeah, just there's again. I said this back in the Dawn one. There's no like one Pokemon you can say like, oh, if I bring Garchomp, I beat this team, because you don't. Because then there's a Mega Staraptor, there's Basculegion, there's Politoed that knows Ice Beam. It's I don't like it.
yeah, this entire team's gonna be rough to play against. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, and maybe I'm just making some draft predictions that I shouldn't. I wouldn't be surprised to see this in finals or at least semifinals for
Yeah,
playoffs.
I would be very surprised if he doesn't make playoffs with this team. It's just crazy.
Maybe a slight downside here is a little rough outside of Trick Room. Granted, you still have mitigation because you have Screens Grimmsnarl. If you get the close combat before it goes up,
Mm,
it's still going to be a way to get around it. It's just a more unorthodox way too, but it's still going to
yeah.
be a menace.
If I'm looking at the hard trick room team in this league, I'm not even scared of that because they've got the Mega Crabominable and they've got the Mega Camerupt, where Mega Staraptor doesn't care about Mega Camerupt, and then Grimmsnarl with screens, and then Staraptor just kind of, I don't want to say walls Crabominable, because obviously Crabominable's ice type. It can hit an ice hammer into Staraptor and do some big damage. But you protect, set up, reflect, and then if you can somehow get Farigiraf off the field, you've got parting shot into it as well. Or you could close combat on that first turn into the Farigiraf, get your defense boost, get reflect up, side parting shot into yourself, and then you've just got +1/+1 with reflect up, and then Ice Hammer probably isn't doing a ton of damage at that point.
Yeah, I don't know what the calc is off the top of my head, but I would not be surprised also if you could just lead. It's not even just Grimmsnarl. You could maybe run Staraptor with Helping Hand Polytoad and just delete the Farigiraf
Yeah.
with close combat.
It's this team is just ridiculous. Yeah, I don't get it. I was gonna say that there's no intimidate, just like when I was going through that whole ramble, but then I remembered Hisuian Arcanine gets intimidate. So then you side parting shot to yourself, bring in Arcanine, and then you've got -1 on the Crabominable as well, and then it's just like it's not doing any damage to you.
Mute. There's also another one if you choose to use it. Uh, there is Intimidate with Staraptor before it Mega Evolves as
Yeah,
well.
it's I forgot about that one too. It's just you, you don't care
Which,
about that Trick Room team.
which even if that's the case, I don't know. I'd have to look at what the HP difference is, but Joe can obviously still bluff and bring both Megas, and if he wants to, he can fake out with Grimmsnarl minus obviously if the Farigiraf is on the field. Which if it is on the field in that case with this team, I don't know how much it matters. You probably can get around that without even having to do that, but I would think you could potentially even bluff the final gambit instead, like you're
Yeah,
going to Mega instead into the Staraptor and then bring in Metagross.
yeah, it's crazy. I don't like it at all.
Good thing we don't have to. potentially see it till finals, right?
Yeah.
Then we got to figure that out. All hands on deck.
Yeah. You had a couple of the other weaknesses. Mine was the trick room one, and then as we went through this, I'm like, well, you don't care about that trick room team, so I'm out of weaknesses.
Yeah. Honestly, these are not. I don't even know that you can necessarily call these. These are more of just our joking weaknesses to this. First off, no Kantomons. We're not considering in Arcanine because it's the Hisuian version. Uh, the other thing is, Joe, come on, man. You have your logo is Charizard. You had the chance to draft either or, and you didn't do it. What are you doing? He literally could have done either, and instead didn't start. Decided to call up call up Steven Stone instead.
Yep. Who knew? Who knew he didn't want it?
I'm not. I'm not saying the team is not more scary without the Zard. I'm just saying it's a little confusing with no Zard with the logo.
Yeah, I mean, very good team. So many good teams in Dusk. I guess I could see one weakness potentially being a good ground type, just because Arcanine doesn't like it, Metagross doesn't like it. But then you've got Staraptor, you've got Basculegion, Politoed, and Roserade. Even, yeah, it's
Yeah.
very good team. I cannot complain much about it at all. All
Yeah,
right,
I think we can kind of go on to our next one if you want to.
yeah. The
Which,
next team we've got the Sacramento Skeledirge, coached by Emma.
yeah, I'm gonna let you tackle this because I don't. Uh, this is your wife. My only thing I'm gonna say is gravity and ground types can't hurt me and aren't real the team. I'm gonna not go any further than that. I'll let you tackle this one. Hopefully, you
Yeah.
don't end up in the doghouse, buddy.
Yeah, functions good in and out of Trick Room. A lot of Trick Room Pokemon drafted pretty late with Snorlax and Camerupt. Sadly, not the Mega Camerupt. But yeah, Mega Delphox, Sneasler, and Mega Glamora, pretty good first couple of picks. Obviously, very weak to ground in those, but also Mega Delphox has Levitate, Sneasler can Focus Sash, and Mega Glamora can Hope and Pray. uh, but yeah, those three are very good. You've also got Goldango for a lot of really good special type damage, where you don't really have to care about Intimidate whatsoever with those first four. Sneasler can always run the White Herb, and if it does get intimidated, you've still got Fake Out. You can have Coaching if you really wanted to up some of the defense. You've also got your Trick Room mode with the Slow King, Snorlax, Camerupt, kind of Skarmory. Skarmory is a little bit like Trick Room and kind of Tailwind mode. It's the only one that can set up Tailwind outside of Glamora, but if you have Mega Glamora, you don't really want to be setting up Tailwind with that, I feel like. But yeah, pretty good first couple there. There's a lot of setup routes where you can use Sneasler to Fake Out, and then Delphox and I think Glamora gets Nasty Plot. Maybe I'm lying about that. I know Delphox definitely does. It also gets Substitute. Um,
Uh, no Meteor Beam off the top of my head, but you can't run Power Herb.
yeah, Power Mega Glamora.
I
Okay.
mean, it's
This
gonna
is
hurt, but it's a
a
matter if you
little
can get it to
tangent.
work.
I'm surprised there's not a weather condition where Meteor Beam is just like a one charge turn, because when Electro Shot exists, that's just 100 accuracy and a 2-turn move and ups your special attack. I'm surprised that like Meteor Beam doesn't like work in Sandstorm or something where it is just a 1-turn, because like it's not fully accurate. At least give it something, but that's another debate another time.
I did find something that I don't have in our notes. It does not get Nasty Plot, but she also has the slightly less version of Staraptor to a lesser degree. Granted, it feels bad to probably just lose your mom by doing so, but it can run Memento.
Glamora can?
Yeah, I just. Oh, maybe I didn't get that right. I thought I saw something. Yes, it shows us on the moveset. Maybe
Oh,
that's.
interesting.
Oh, maybe this was something. Hang on. Let me make sure here before I say that. Okay. It was set for Scarlet and Violet Regi, so I just want to make sure that was actually accurate. But it does actually still get that, though.
Interesting. I didn't know that. That kind of feels weird to memento with a mega, or at least a potential mega, but could maybe do it. But yeah, yeah, first four hit super hard. Mega Delphox and Sneasler, as we talked about, is a phenomenal lead against almost every single team. Sneasler being able to fake out, Delphox being able to either set up or just immediately start hitting super hard, super fast with the like. I know it's like it can get up to like 204 speed. I don't exactly remember what the base of that is, but yeah, very fast, very good. Um, you mentioned it. This team hates ground types.
Yeah. Especially if
You've
it's gravity ground.
Yeah. You've got Quake Level, you've got Slowking, and you've got Skarmory, and even Skarmory and Gravity doesn't really like it. Um, Quake Level, once it gets rolling with Moxie and Aqua Step, can be a very like strong threat, but that takes a KO to kind of start getting started. And then if you've got something, I feel like it gets triple axle, which could be very good against a Garchomp.
Unless it
Um,
was one of those things that lost in Champions, it should.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen it use triple axle in Champions. Maybe I'm lying.
I'm looking it up.
Sure.
It still does. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
Losing
that could be a way.
obvious. Yeah. I mean, you could even, to a certain degree, maybe put Sash on it with acrobatics. Though
Yeah.
that's more of a anything to do.
Yeah. There's not much weather control. You can use what's that move Slowking and Slowbro get that like switches you
Chili
out and
reception.
sets snow? Ah, yeah,
Chili
chilly
reception.
reception. Yeah. That could be a way to set up weather and get rid of weather, especially on a Pokemon as bulky as Slowking. I don't know if any of the weather setters could knock it out at one hit. Maybe a Tyranitar with like knockoff could. Um, but even then, I think Slowking is still very bulky. Like you could probably train it to live that 100% of the time. Um, it lives I shouldn't say it. She lives with the monkey propagandist and me and still wouldn't draft a monkey. Um and then there's not a great way to hit opposing water types, but if only there was a monkey to do so in Simisage. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm this is a very interesting team. The megas don't really work very well in the slow mode, but I'm not sure if they really need to, because this could be a situation where you lead like Slowking, Snorlax, and then do a bunch of chip damage with that and Camerupt, and then bring in your super fast mega kind of for later. Um, I could definitely see that catching a lot of people off guard. You've also got Skarmory for Tailwind. You've got your Sneasler with Fake Out. You've got Goldango, which can run Scarf. You've got Quakeable can run Scarf, or Mystic Water or something to just knock up a bunch of KOs. Yeah, just a very interesting team overall.
Also, just a little TLDR of what I just looked up. Keep in mind there is a stockpile, whatever you want to do, or even with Belly Drum, it got recycled back so it can cycle its Citrus Berry back on
Oh
Snorlax.
no.
Something
That
to
will
keep in
be
mind.
annoying.
So,
Oops, I took my last page. I guess that's kind of all we have for that. So let's move on to our final team, the Toledo Torkles, coached by King Wine. I assume that's how you say that.
win, I don't know for sure, but I'm
Coached by
sure he'll
King.
correct us if we get it wrong. I would say this has got a little bit of. I put Kalos on here, but it also has functionally got Kalos and Kanto Aura Energy because of the X and Y reference, and because you have your two megas as Charizard Y and or not Charizard Y, Charizard X and Rachi Y.
Hmm.
And one of the other strengths of this is you have several different things here that you can do. Uh, magic bouncing with your Espeon is always a great thing to have. Uh, Part of the thing there is this could be a segment for him, as we've seen. I'm pretty sure Wolf do when he was doing the video of find the Zoroark game.
Yeah, it's always frustrating facing a Zoroark, especially his Suian Zoroark, because of that normal and ghost typing, meaning you can't hit it with your ghost type moves and you can't fake it out. So it can just immediately get a free hit if you guess wrong. bonus points for the mascot pick. Picking Torkoal in the second round as your mascot is Torkoal. I don't think that's as crazy as a pick of picking Morpeko, but also like you gotta love people picking their mascots. It just shows the team pride up in there. I wish I could say the same for myself, but I cannot. Uh, I know you did with
Also,
your Greninja.
not as cool. It's a mega, but still had to do it.
Yeah.
Uh, which I don't think we ever talked about it, and this is probably never going to happen, though I've done in the past. I can't wait to see him randomly pull out White Herb Shell Smash on the Torkoal one week.
You have no idea how many times I wanted to do that last season and then just never did. I
I did it in
drafted
one
it
league,
for like trying to click Flare Blitz into something, and I just never got the opportunity.
I think I did it one time in a draft league, and it was in playoffs, and it was more to catch the opponent off guard, and I almost Torkoal alone almost brought it back with +2 Shell Smash, and it was in the face of I forget all of it was, but it came down to a 1v1. It was like 2% HP left on an Iron Hands that was burned.
Oh,
So,
that's
yeah,
tough.
it could be an interesting strat to bring in the back and surprise people.
Definitely.
Will it work? I don't know.
It's always fun to run Torkoal in Dumbwiz, but you know, that's not like obviously the strength of Torkoal.
I'm trying to think. Is there an after you mod on this team that also can do it? I'd have to check.
I don't
But
believe so. I don't think any of these get after you.
maybe Espeon, if anything. I'll check.
All right.
But
Well, you do that.
No,
There's also fast screens with Dragapult. You said Dragon Dance Party. A ton of mons on this team get Dragon Dance or something similar. Zard X loves to set up Dragon Dance and then just sweep everything. Same with Dragapult. You could do the same thing. Gardevoir gets Calm Mind. Gallade gets, I believe it gets Swords Dance. Zoroark gets Swords Dance or Nasty Plot, one of the two. And then Manectric can kind of be there snarling and kind of just generally being annoying. Same thing with kind of Espeon.
yeah, the only thing I see that's missing on this to utilize this strat is a Sinistcha. Unfortunately, got picked because otherwise I'd say go with the zany set of running Flame Charge with Belly Drum and switching Sinistcha when needed.
Yeah.
And that would just tear holes through things.
Oh yeah. I'm a little surprised. I shouldn't say I'm a little surprised. I guess I'm a little surprised that Sinistcha went just so early because I think it went 4th or 5th overall. I know Sinistcha is very good. I'm just a bit surprised that it went so early, but how it is sometimes.
Yeah, there's also the thing that I will give a shout out because Lord knows when it comes to RNG, when it comes to accuracy, it's not the best with this. You don't even have to worry about that with Raichu Y so long as you Mega.
Yep. Yeah, I mean,
and I think
Zap Cannon, Focus Blast, two moves that notoriously miss, just hitting 100% of the time is just kind of annoying.
Yeah, if you're worried about not, outspeeding something from a certain speed tier, you just Zap Cannon and fix that issue.
Yep, easy. There are a couple of weaknesses that we found. I feel like it doesn't have the greatest speed control in the world. Yes, Mega Raichu is fast. Yes, Dragapult is fast, but doesn't really handle opposing Tailwind very well. Espeon and Gallade can set Trick Room, but I mean, outside of Torkoal, you don't really have a great Trick Room mode. Hisuian Zoroark can, I think Hisuian Zoroark learns Icy Wind. I think that's one of the things it can do.
Yeah, Icy Wind and Snarl is what comes to my mind.
But that's not like the best speed control in the world, so I could see Tailwind teams kind of being a little bit of a problem, especially if it's one of those Aerodactyls or the Prankster ones. Doesn't matter if it's Talonflame because Talonflame's just sitting on the sidelines right now. But yeah, just not the greatest speed control in the world. You had this that the ground types can't hurt you.
Yeah, that was part 2 of it because we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 4 in the other 4 this week too, and I don't think looking at the rest of them they necessarily care because, well, if it's a Garchomp, that also destroys Dragapult potentially. And yeah, it's definitely. I don't think they necessarily like ground. Even if you don't take super effective damage, I still don't think they appreciate ground
Yeah.
type moves.
Strong earthquakes can definitely be a problem, especially if you don't have Wide Guard Glade on the field right away.
Yeah,
You like lead Charizard and Torkoal into a ground type that just clicks a free earthquake pretty much. And because Charizard Y isn't a flying type anymore, it does not appreciate taking those earthquakes. You could obviously just not mega evolve on a turn or something, but at that point you're losing your dragon typing as well as your physical attack stat isn't the greatest.
yeah. Well, I don't think it's terrible, but I'll have to look into that to give you the thing. I think it's more just known because it has tough claws and it's more of a physical attacker.
Yeah.
But I will check. Wow, learning something new live on this. It actually is an okay special attacker. Would you like to guess what its base stat is for that?
Because of the WoW, I'm gonna say it's like 100.
No, it's tied with its attack. Actually, it's both 130.
Oh,
So I'm kind of surprised myself in that, but I guess it's just because of tough claws is why.
interesting.
So
Okay. Didn't know that.
I guess you could technically run it whichever way you
Yeah.
want to. It's just that you're losing out on the boost from tough claws.
Yeah, that's I didn't know that. So,
Yeah, I
ignore
think.
me, I guess. Yeah.
Um, I think more adjustment wise, we kind of talked about potentially it. It's not the end of the world, but if you want to tap, if you want to, I almost said what it was. I almost got it mixed. If you want a Tailwind user, Talonflame is still up for grabs. Granted, I don't know how much that really helps you. You probably have to switch out something as well, and unfortunately, that might have to be the Torko on this team, just so you don't have ground problems. Granted, you still have that gives you two rock type problems, but works a little bit better with this team, I think, and potentially even looking at Blastoise as an option for fake out help for that. I know you get that with Raichu, but there's that option, and if you don't want to do that, there's also Shelf Smash as an option as well.
Yeah. And I mean, I
I would say,
Talonflame is also so expensive that like if you have to drop something, you have to drop multiple Pokemon. So I'm not sure like how much this team wants to drop more than like one for anything in free agency. So Talonflame
yeah,
might be a bit steep just point wise for that.
if there's a way to, I guess also this is not adjustments. This is more of trying to figure out what exactly you have to do with Helping Hand from Torco with Zardex. I mean, I think it works with a lot of the team, but just something to keep in mind also for him that he does have Helping Hand options. May
Yeah.
even get it on Espeon, but I don't know if it got it back because I think it back in the day it did get an XD, but don't quote me on that for sure.
I mean, yeah, and there's other Pokemon with Helping Hand as well. I know Gardevoir gets it. I'm sure Gallade gets it if Gardevoir does. Hisuian Zoroark just feels like it has it. So
Yeah,
yeah, a lot of like different good things you can do with this team. I'm interested to see because you don't see a lot of Zardex teams. So this is one of the teams I'll definitely be keeping my eye on because it's not the most common thing you see in the world.
yeah. I think he has the potential to have this team go insane, and then it to be what is already in the works of a Zardex team and be the forefront that decides what goes on the team and what doesn't. So
Yep. Well, I don't know. Yeah, it looks like we are at the end of our slides. So if you want to take us out, bring us into the
yeah.
new season.
So obviously it's been fun so far, and we're still gonna have some fun. Keep your eyes out because me and Dev will probably be kind of spoiling some ideas here, but and giving a little insight. I guess we could even say foresight in this case as the Pokemon move. But there will probably be at least one or two matches. I would say if we do two, it's probably going to be one per dusk, one per dawn as featured matches of the week. We may even put polls in the Discord to
Yeah.
let people decide. So if you're not already in there, first off, what are you doing? And second off, uh, it gives you the option to join both there and be able to vote on things such as that. uh, and kind of also grow with a great community. I'm pretty sure if I've updated it right. If I haven't, forgive me. I'm still trying to learn all this as slightly newer to content creation, but I think the Discord is linked in the description, as well as mine and Dev's uh, links and stuff as well for socials. We,
Yep.
we would have Moon in there, but I think she wants to kind of remain separate from all that right now, so we're honoring that.
Yeah, and
But
I
yeah,
believe when I looked at the Dawn one you posted today that the Discord was updated correctly, so we're
okay.
all good there.
Well, on that note, I think we will be seeing y'all more and more as these come on. I know we said it before, I'm pretty sure. I'll definitely probably be having my matches streamed live. Dev will probably be doing the same, as
Yep.
well as we will probably have those featured matches of the week. And there will probably be other people, I would dare say. I would be betting probably see Bad Will. I don't know about everybody else, but I'm sure there'll be some other people that stream, and we'll make, as those go on and we see it, we'll try to do our due diligence to make sure it's updated in the playlist. So,
Yeah, definitely.
but yeah,
Well,
we're looking forward to it, and join the Oko Discord. Not even if you don't want to do draft, there's other things you can do in there too, team building as well. And we're just very appreciative for this opportunity to have.
yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I think with that we are good to go. So happy happy drafting, happy battles, and let's give some people some shows.
Yep. See you all in the season.